I'm talking about the number one tool that doubles weight loss. And not only does it double weight loss, but also once you hit whatever health or weight goal that you're wanting to get to, then continuing on that, doing this number one tool is crucial to actually keeping that weight off for good. Now I'm going to tell you why this tool is so successful, what you can use it for, how to use it to heal your relationship with food, how to use it to heal yourself from food and sugar addiction, and basically how to use it in general. Why most people fail, and what kind of the whole deal schmeal is. So let me just take a breath because my kids have been driving me totally nuts lately. And I'm like, excuse you, Mama needs a break. All right, I feel sweating already. If you're new here, let me quickly introduce myself. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Renee Paulson. I'm a recovering food and sugar addict, but also a healthy living and nutrition coach. Hardcore addicted to sugar, lots of sweet stuff, but also food, including things like, eating food out of the garbage can and consuming 3 cups of sugar every day. All of those things finally kind of hit a big truck. Funny, not funny. And kind of that rocketed me into a self-discovery of health, kind of drugged into it by my husband kicking and screaming. Really discovered that the kicking and screaming part was food and sugar addiction, that is an actual real thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is real. And once I found out it was real, I was like, I need to tell everyone. And a lot of people didn't believe me. And I was like, I'm telling you, this is real. And they're making the food to be like this. And once you tell enough people or really show enough people how much added sugar is in food and how addictive the food is made to be, it kind of that like light bulb goes off. So what I really spend my time doing is helping other women recover from food and sugar addiction, or even just lose weight and get healthy, whatever that means for you, but know how to do that in the long term and keep your weight off so you don't need to yo-yo diet or anything like that. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, is the number one tool that I always, first of all, I didn't want to do it. I've talked about this before, that I didn't want to do it. And finally when I did it, I was like, damn, that was really like the missing key to me understanding how to unlock the gate of food and sugar addiction recovery, and weight loss and maintenance, and took all the guessing work out of it. And that is tracking your food. Now, I needed to do a whole separate shebang with this because that's how important it is. Now, a lot of people will fail or boo-hoo this, and I was one of those people, okay? I didn't want to do it, and I was forced into it because as a bet, excuse me, I just had some sushi, but I was forced into it as a bet really with my husband, because I was just like, you're out of your mind. I don't want to track my food. I don't want to weigh my food. That sounds dumb. That sounds too much like very restrictive and not having a healthy relationship with food and blah, 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 right? All the excuses under the sun. And so, he made a bet with me that he's like, well, just try it for this amount of time and see if there's a difference. And I bet you there will be. And I was like, you don't know, shh, just be quiet over there, whatever. And unfortunately I was wrong on that one, but don't tell him that I said that, because I just tell him that I came up with it as an idea on my own. That doesn't really work. But when I started tracking my food, it really kind of took that guessing work out of it. And that's what really tracking your food does, is to take the guessing work out of whatever you're eating. Because sometimes we can be like, well, I think this egg is full of protein. And yes, I know it has fat, but probably just like, not even that much. And then you track it and you're like, oh my God, it's totally the opposite of how I thought. That's why tracking your food is so important. It takes that guessing work out of it. And really what I tell my one-on-one clients is to look at this as data. It doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't mean you're bad. It's just data. It's showing you what you can fine tune when you're tracking your food and when you're consuming that. Because without knowing, it's literally just a guessing game. And it can be like, well, I think I ate enough protein. And what I find pretty much across the board for most women, unless you're tracking your food and you know what you're doing, is that we're under eating on protein. Hardcore under eating on protein. And this is why a lot of women are finding that they're hungry or hangry, not satisfied going through the day. A lot of women also under eating on carbs because we're very afraid of carbs. And unfortunately, that's not, your body needs carbs, needs good carbs, not bad carbs. Bad carbs equal cake. And they're not bad. That's just, you can't eat cake every day. Believe me, I tried. And now I'm missing a gallbladder. So don't do it. I did it for us and it did not work out well for me. So it probably won't work out well for you. And I was pre-diabetic, I'm pretty sure, at one point. I had to be. Anyway, I digress. But your body needs good carbs in order to sustain yourself so you don't feel like you're tired and, running ragged and feel like you're about to fall asleep at 3 o'clock at your desk or whatever. You're telling the kids just go to sleep, please, because it's tired time. It's 6:30 and I'm ready for bed. So your body needs these things. Same thing with fat, but without knowing what's going in, again, like I said, it's a guessing game. So unfortunately, when people really start tracking their food, here's what happens a lot of times is we start tracking our food. Now, there's a lot of food tracking apps out there. My personal favorite and the one that I will always recommend unless I find something better, which I haven't found something better yet, so we're just going to stick with this, is Chronometer. I will put a link in the comments for Chronometer. They have a free version. They have a paid version. You can do the free version and get through it totally fine. I really enjoy this because it shows you not just the macronutrients, meaning your protein, carbs, and fat, but also the micronutrients of food. This is what makes it so successful to help recover from food and sugar addiction because it shows you the nutritional value of food. So this is, again, one of the biggest reasons I was able to kick my soda habit is because I put it in and I was like, oh my God, I'd rather have a cookie versus this. There's technically more nutritional value in the cookie, which sounds crazy, but that's just the fact of it. But what I find, and what I did too, and it takes a little bit of time. And this is what I think that we, without guidance and without knowing how to track our food properly and know what we're really doing, it's very overwhelming because we're not taught any of this in school. And so we're like, I don't know about this. This seems very overwhelming and confusing. And so you start tracking your food. And on Chronometer, it will show you if you're hitting a percentage on your nutrient targets, basically. Now, if you go in there and you kind of put what your weight goal is, or if you want to just maintain or whatever, it's going to spit out regular macros for you. I do custom macros for my one-on-one clients, and I go in there and I change them for them. So that's a little side note that you get when you get a one-on-one clientele. But you get custom macros, or it will spit out macros for you, and you can see that you're not hitting your targets. Or maybe you're going over on targets. Lots of times you can find that it's really easy to go over on fat, even if it's good fats, because fat is delicious and we love it. And so it's easy to just be like, oh yes, I'll have this giant handful of nuts. And really it's like a lot of extra fat. So that's where it comes in handy to weigh your food and then track it, and always track before you eat food. This is one of my biggest hang-ups, that it took me a long time to kind of get used to doing that. But if you track before you eat, you don't end up screwed later, basically, because you can think something is one way. Example, if you go out to a restaurant or you go out to eat, whatever you do, if you are going out to eat, the fat content is automatically higher. Always, 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 always. Even if you're going to a healthy restaurant, the fat content will always be higher than whatever you think that it is. So that's an example of why it's important to track before you eat, just to see if that's what you really truly want to eat. Again, going back to choosing food for its nutritional value. So important and really crucial to help heal your relationship with food when you're recovering from food and sugar addiction. Looking at food as nutritional value. I got a side note to say about this because There was it's like a I want to say it's like a warrior protein shake. It's like some type of shake. And I was watching this like healthy video before, like at the beginning of my health journey, years and years and years and years and years ago, back when I lived in Oregon. And these people would say, I don't eat to, what is it? Like, I don't live to eat, I eat to live. And I was like, that is fucking great for you. Because I live to eat. And I like delicious food. When you are talking to people who are food and sugar addicts, you can tell them like, oh, you need to fuel your body and eat food that's going to make you feel great and fuel your body. Yes, that's great. And most of the time, food and sugar addicts understand that concept. But that's why using this tool is incredibly helpful, better than telling you to fuel your body and that you're going to eat, eat to live. That's what it is. Backwards. But you can't, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't, for a food and sugar addict, you're just kind of like, okay, great for you. Sorry if you're offended. That's my soapbox. But that's why, again, using this tool, super helpful to show you what food really looks like. Like start, even if you think of something, like sometimes you can go in and just track one food item and see what that looks like. Like what does a banana look like? You know, everybody knows it's carbs, but then, you know, what does it have on this? The vitamins, the minerals, it has potassium, the vitamin C and the manganese in bananas, both help boost your collagen, all sorts of different things. So it's really just looking at food for its nutritional value. Now, again, what I find people will, and what I did is you're either not hitting those targets when you track, or you're going way over on fats or carbs, not enough protein, which is kind of what I see for women is a lot, usually over on fat. Carbs, it's like a 50-50. Some people are very afraid of them, and then some people love, but most people love carbs. So they'll be afraid of carbs for a while, and then they'll go way over on carbs like a few days a week because your body is craving that. Your body is going to force feed you if you don't give it what it really wants. And then again, way under on protein. So we get frustrated, or we don't know how to hit those targets or figure out how to finagle things. That's where having really a coach to help you figure out how to do that and how to hit your targets and how to do the things that you want to do for your specific body is incredibly helpful. Light years in advance compared to if you try to figure it out on your own. Can you figure it out on your own? Yes, you can. I'm not going to tell you that you can't. I'm just going to tell you that it might take you a couple more years than if you had invested in someone to help you do that. Because when you have someone help you, show you how to balance that, they can say, okay, well, look, for breakfast, you can add, maybe add some nuts and maybe add a protein shake or whatever here and there to help balance your food throughout the day so that you know you're hitting enough protein, carbs, and fat for each meal, and that you're not going to be hungry, that you're going to have enough energy throughout the day. Again, this is why tracking your food is important, because it shows you how to fuel your body. It's not just saying, well, you take this food and fuel your body. It's showing you how to do that, how to balance everything. But really getting someone to mentor you or help you through that is very, very, very important, because again, we're not taught in school how to do that. This is why most people fail. Another thing that I find is, and I did this too, so I'll give you my mistake, is that once I hit my goal weight, and again, this was many years ago when I first started, or like, I should say midway in between, because when I first started, I didn't track for a long time because I was like boycotting. So I'd say like midway in between. Then once I hit that goal weight, I stopped tracking, like at all, period. And it's hard because you can think, okay, well, I'm eating kind of good. And then go, oh, wow, I'm eating way over on fat still. And so I had a few pounds creep up, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, I thought I was like in maintenance mode and I was okay now. So instead of just having that definitive stop and saying, well, I'm going to stop tracking my food at this time, looking at it as this is going to just become a new habit for you. And it doesn't have to be perfectly perfect. I would say tracking your food about 80% of the time is going to help you keep you successful. keep you on track. Make sure that you are eating the foods that you need to do, or eating the, hitting the targets that you need to hit. And, just a very powerful tool to help maintain that weight loss and health, so that, like, even if your sodium intake is high. That's why I love using Chronometer, because it shows you all of those macro and micronutrients. So I find it incredibly helpful, so I can look at it and say, my sodium looks a little high today, but I did a really hard workout and I drank a lot of water, so I think I'm okay. Versus like, oh my God, my sodium's super high. I need to look at what I'm eating because, maybe those pork rinds aren't going to be the best for that, or, XYZ. So it really helps you like finagle through all of that to make it successful, to make it work for you. So I'm going to put a link to Chronometer in the comments for you to go check out and take a look. That is really what I suggest. I've used my macros. I'm not a fan. I've used MyFitnessPal probably like a long time ago, and I wasn't a fan, but also I wasn't a fan of tracking food at that time. But I really just love Chronometer, and they've got great customer service. I've never had any problem, and they have a little scanny thingy on your phone. So seriously, it makes it easy to use, and you can find a lot of foods. What I do find though, that I sometimes have trouble with is if you go eat out, sometimes it's going to be difficult to find what food that is. And so sometimes we will not track it, but instead I try and like break down. I mean, if it's like a really intricate meal, I try and like break down whatever I can just to track that, just to see. But like I said, I'm not perfectly perfect, and I track my food about 80% of the time. So maybe that 20% might be a treat meal that I don't track. But definitely keeping those tracking on like 80% of the time. Like I said, it's going to really help you be successful in that weight loss goal and beyond, so you can keep it off and see what you're eating. See if you're vitamin deficient. That's another thing that I find too. And I found for sure for myself that, I didn't take vitamins for a long time, and finding that most of us, including myself, were vitamin deficient. So you can put your multivitamins in there too, and see even with a multivitamin where you're deficient with your food, like calcium or magnesium or things like that. So I absolutely love using Chronometer and tracking my food, and I actually should track an old day of eating. I'm kind of curious, but I'm also kind of scared. So comment below and let me know if you think that that's something you might want to see. But that sounds scary, like an old day of eating, like eating half a brownie tray or something like that. Oh my goodness. We'll see. Yeah, like I said, let me know if you want to see that. I don't know. That sounds scary though. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Let me know how you like the tool tracking your food. Wow, it's late at night. And if you already track your food now, let me know what you use. If you really love it, I'll go check it out and see if I love it better than Chronometer, and if I should jump ship or hop over and take a look, because I'm always open to new things, and certainly don't think that I know everything. For sure, that's definitely not the case. If you are not already, I would love to invite you to be a member of my free private Facebook group, the Warrior Women for Weight Loss and Health. I am doing lives every other Thursday called Confessions of a Food Addict. In there on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Please don't bring your children, because there will probably be bad words in there. And this week, the vote of the group was to hear about the time that I ate a donut out of the garbage. And I've done this on more than one occasion. Not now, obviously. We're talking about Confessions of a Food Addict, and when food addiction and my sugar addiction was running rampant. But yes, I've eaten on more than one occasion a donut out of the garbage. But I'm going to tell that story and go really in depth into that. Oh Lord, it's gonna be an interesting one on Thursday night. But I will put a link to that group in the comments as well, so you can go join that group, check out, and join the Thursday night live to hear all about how I eat donuts out of the garbage. Wow, sounds like a raccoon. Well, with that, my dear, I will leave you, and I hope that you have an amazing Tuesday. If you had some tacos, hope you had amazing tacos on your Taco Tuesday. I love you bunches. I hope you had an amazing night, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.